From the day we're born to the day we die, we never know where our lives will lead us. But no matter what we go through, we want our lives to have some type of meaning, to remind us that we aren't just a waste of space. Some chase money, while others pursue prestige and power. And then you have those who strive to make the world a better place any way they can. And there's no one who symbolizes that more than everyone's favorite rookie cop. So grab a snack, kick back, and relax as we discuss why Leon Kennedy is Resident Evil's perfect protagonist. Completely unaware of bioweapons, super soldiers, world-ending conspiracies, and money-hungry pharmaceutical companies who are busy creating a new virus every other week, Leon wanted to leave his mark on the world, and that was to become a cop, a dangerous and self-sacrificing job that's often underappreciated until they're needed the most. But despite all that, Leon is more than happy to take on the challenging career as he makes his way to Raccoon City, and it's made evident the moment you see him. Stopping off at a gas station for a quick refill, he can already tell something's off and goes to investigate without a second thought. And you're probably thinking, well, Deuce, of course he's going to investigate. He's a cop. And you're right. But cop or not, investigating an area in a city you've never been to is a scary situation to be in. And no type of training can truly combat the cruel reality of jumping headfirst into the unknown. But despite the blood splattered against the floor, the chaos stirring around him, and the suffocating silence, Leon still jumps into action, holding on to the slim chance that someone is still alive in there, someone in need of a helping hand to pull them away from this nightmare. Of course, that possibility slipped through his fingers like grains of sand as everyone around him was either dead or became the undead. But even so, he still manages to save someone, Claire Redfield, who's just as confused and lost as he is. But always the optimist, Leon ignores all the depravity and desolation around them as he clings on to the desperate hope that the police station has some kind of solution to all this insanity. Whether that's faith based in foolishness or confidence centered around courage, I can't say. But Leon's overwhelming optimism does give people a sense of strength that carries them through. As we've seen with him and Claire barely surviving their first zombie encounter, she immediately assumes the worst, believing that there are no survivors. And she's not wrong for thinking that. You and I would have probably felt the same. But Leon reassures her that all wasn't lost as long as they keep pushing forward. Yet, who knows, perhaps deep down he felt the world collapsing around him. Even so, sometimes you gotta stay positive just to keep your sanity in the face of uncertainty, for your sake and for those who rely on you. That charismatic confidence isn't too common among other Resident Evil characters. Battle-hardened soldiers like Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine are true war heroes who have kept the world safe from evil organizations through skill and perseverance. You can trust them to get the job done, but they don't necessarily inspire others to take the initiative for themselves. Of course, Chris and Jill's missions are usually handled discreetly, away from the public eye, but as I've watched them throughout the years, it's safe to assume they'd rather handle it themselves, otherwise you'll just get in their way. But because Leon started off as a cop, a symbol of safety for all to see, it's only natural for him to give people that sense of security in the face of danger where death is around every corner. He can't help it, often throwing himself headfirst into danger without hesitation if he has the slightest chance of saving someone. When he finally makes it to the police station, he runs into Marvin Brennan, a senior officer who was badly injured during the zombie outbreak. And though Marvin tries to help Leon escape the hellish nightmare, the rookie cop can't help but notice how badly wounded he is. Where most people's priority will be escaping, Leon insisted on taking Marvin with him, regardless if it slows them down. It's just not in him to silently scurry off to safety when others are suffering around him. It's a miracle he survived this long with that mentality. But, as life has taught us, conflict reveals character. And Leon has plenty of it as he makes his way through the zombie-infested police station where death is always lurking just beyond his flashlight. The idea of having to fight their way through all of that would break anyone's mental fortitude. Especially if Resident Evil 3 is anything to go by. The moment the outbreak began among the city's residents, uncontrollable chaos collapsed around them at every corner. Fires broke out, buildings were ransacked for resources, people turned on each other instead of working together to survive. All logic went away as their desperate pursuit of self-preservation clouded their minds with paranoia that led to a swift but agonizing downfall. Of course, none of Raccoon City was prepared for such a gruesome situation. The only people who were trained for this was STARS, and they barely survived the horrors in the Spencer Mansion. But that's what makes Leon unique, keeping a level head while trying to help others in need, while trying to survive a catastrophe none of his training prepared him for. And you might say, well, Claire's in the same boat, so it's not that unique. As the sister of the world's greatest soldier who's been fighting bioterrorism for 30 years, Chris taught her hand-to-hand combat and how to use various weaponry.
Oh,
So in a way, she was somewhat prepared for the worst. We've seen her in action in Code Veronica, which was only 3 months after her and Leon escaped Raccoon City, so her capability during the dreadful horrors of that night was no coincidence. But even so, I can't help but wonder if meeting Leon influenced her. And I say that because she started off looking for her brother Chris, while assuming there were no survivors left. But not only does Leon reassure her that there are, Claire comes across Sherry, forcing her to change her priorities in order to protect the little girl at all costs. And in doing so, she's witnessed the cruel carelessness of the Umbrella Corporation and their complete disregard for human life. When they escape the city together, Leon vows to take down the pharmaceutical company. And though her goal at the time is to find her missing brother, she dedicates her life to fighting bioterrorism. From her and Leon's bravery, this also inspires Sherry to do her part by becoming a government agent herself to give people a chance to live a normal life, free from the fear of life-ending viruses and BOWs. Thankfully, we aren't fighting against a zombie apocalypse. At least not yet. But we all need someone like Leon. Someone who stays positive and is always looking for the bright side of things, no matter how dark the situation gets. Because even though we hate to admit it, life is a constant struggle that can sap away the strength from anyone. So it helps when there's someone by your side to sharpen your soul and turn that struggle into the very thing that makes you stronger for whatever life hits you with next. Even years later, when he's forced to become a government agent, and you can hear the bitterness in his voice, he still finds a reason to smile in the face of danger, giving people hope to overcome impossible odds stacked against them. That's probably why he was chosen to rescue the president's daughter, Ashley Graham, from Los Illuminados. Ashley Graham, a university student whose biggest challenge was trying to survive the absolute hell of college life. And I'm not saying that ironically. College sucks. The never-ending papers that would give anyone PTSD, the textbooks that cost more than your rent, the frustration of doing a group project with people who don't care if they pass or not.
Well, I thought we were gonna all work out as a group. I think we're supposed to divide it up. No, I'm good. I don't feel like it.
Dealing with overly strict teachers who would rather fail you than add 1 or 2 extra points to your final grade, force you to retake the entire class all over again. I hate. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. President's daughter or not, that's one of the most soul-crushing experiences. And as someone who went through that nightmare for 4 years, I know for a fact that Ashley had enough on her plate already, and getting kidnapped by Los Illuminados was probably a mini vacation. Of course, I'm only joking, because there's no real difference between a parasite and writing a paper. They both sap your life away. But even so, Ashley is still traumatized by the whole experience because she never knew monsters like this existed, let alone be targeted by them, something she was never prepared for. Aside from Sherry, you could argue that Ashley is a protagonist that gets it the worst in Resident Evil. And you might say, nah, it's definitely Ethan Winters, because he died in the end. And I would agree, but Ethan chose to step in that cruel world of conspiracies and chaos for the sake of his loved ones. Not to mention, he obtained core regeneration powers and high durability after being infected. In fact, Sherry also received regeneration and high durability from her infection. Even though all 3 of them experienced similar situations, Ashley had gotten the short end of the stick because instead of gaining any special powers, all she got was a reason to go to therapy for the next 10 years. But despite being held against her will and forced to drink whatever this is, she still summons up the strength to fight her way through the evil cult of parasitic perpetrators, helping Leon at times and even saving his life at one point. Not only did she find an exit for Leon and Luis when they were getting overwhelmed by Ganados in the cabin, she went off alone and fought against Los Illuminados in order to free Leon from captivity, and remove the Plagas parasite from him moments before it took over his body. As much as we love Leon, he's only human, meaning that he can only do so much on his own, but that's what makes him unique among heavy hitters like Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. He inspires people to take action, to fight, to survive by any means necessary, instead of waiting around for someone else to come save them.
She must have been terrifying night. I know.
You too?
It's okay to be afraid, you know. But you can't run. You gotta keep moving forward. We will beat this. Together.
I don't know if I can.
You can.
Just give me a heads up before you stab me next time, okay?
Leon, thanks.
From a rookie cop who wanted to make his city a safer place, to a government agent who saved the world several times over, Leon Kennedy is the perfect protagonist for Resident Evil because he represents what it means to keep fighting, even when your back is against a wall. Whenever we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, as long as we're still alive, there's always a way out. And despite all those agonizing years of fighting bioweapons, viruses, and evil organizations, Leon never lost his humanity, because he knows what it means to be human, overcoming adversity and getting stronger through struggle instead of suffering in silence. But I'm curious, who's your favorite Resident Evil character, and who would you like me to do a video on next? And as always, thank you so much for watching, and please, feel free to like, subscribe, and join the conversation, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.